Hey, you already know what time it is. It is SEC After Dark. We are live on a Wednesday because of the Peach Bowl. And no, not the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta.
We're having Ole Miss is having a fiesta tomorrow night. So we're going live a night early this week. Our schedule's been all kinds of jacked up. But we have a 4-man crew tonight. No Steve again. I don't know what he's doing.
He's partying all week. So excited.
He is actually.
We will have one half of Biscuits and SEC in a few minutes. Alex said he'd be late.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Nice.
We do have, yeah. So one half of Biscuits and SEC will be here, and it is going to be a great show. Joining me is Mike Huseman, Jake Thomas, Jeb Beecham. Jeb is, if you blink, Jeb will be in the background making us some crafts.
Yeah.
What are you making us today, Jeb?
What's she building here? Scrapbooks. I'm scribbling scrapbook everything we're doing.
Oh, scrapbook.
One big scrapbook. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right. I'm excited.
Oh,
All
they're
the
lovely.
moments.
Trust me.
I really think Jake would appreciate a scrapbook of the 2025 Tide. That would be up and down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
It might be kind of fun to make too. Sure, why not?
The cover and back cover might be a little bit of a mess,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That last. I think it's.
some of the pages in the middle will be cool.
Mhm.
Caleb DeBoer's trip was
yes.
crazy. Yes. I started off the season with everybody wanting fired, then got a lot better, and then ended the season the way he did.
Yeah, everybody wants to fire it again.
If it weren't for the beginning and the end, though, he'd have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd have just had that 4 or 5 game stretch where you beat like 5 ranked opponents in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody screamed, get better, on the offensive line. Alabama has done that in the portal. So
That is,
see.
we're going to talk about some portal stuff as well.
we have
Andy's
to.
doing well in the portal. Georgia, they're doing okay in the portal. They're not really active in the portal most years.
Vandy did have a big loss today.
Yeah, Randon Fontenette jumped into the portal.
Who did?
Randon Fontenette.
Oh wow.
What that tells me, before we get into these games, what that tells me is that he wants to play safety. He wants to play deep safety. And Clark Lee and company was like, no, you're pretty good in the position you're in. And this is all speculation. I have no inside information whatsoever on this, but that's my thoughts. He wants to play a different position to get ready for the NFL. They said no, and he said, okay.
What does he do now?
He's a star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that box safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tennessee could use a deep safety. Maybe we'll grab him. We haven't really started in the portal yet, but we will.
We'll trade you
Look at
Brandon Fontenette for Boo Carter. How about that?
Hey, y'all might get him. He came and visited. I saw
He's
that.
visiting him today, actually. Yeah.
He's
So is Nitro Tuggle, and so is Ja'Cory Thomas.
See, that's my thing. Some of these kids, I understand. Like Wilkin Formby, for an example, in our case for Alabama, he started at right tackle and he grew up playing ball at right tackle or a tackle position. He played tackle a good bit at Alabama this year, but when he moved inside the guard, he played a lot better than what he did. So maybe he should be thinking about wanting to play guard, but he just went to A&M, and now he's going to be playing tackle out there. So I don't know.
They tell you what they want, what you want to hear, and he'll be playing guard at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More likely.
Recruiting 101. They're going to tell you what you want to hear just to get you on campus. Yeah. Somebody's going to tell Brandon Fontenette he's going to play free safety, and he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to realize that he's just not quite fast enough to play that position.
Yeah.
He's a tweener when it comes to speed. I love Brandon Fontenette. Him and I text back and forth occasionally. He texted me one time and said, "Dude, love your show. Listen to it every day before I work out." But
cool.
So we text back and forth every once in a while, and so he's a great dude, but he's just a tweener. It's just what he is. He excels in the position he's in, but that's not what he wants to do.
Right.
And the NFL hasn't really adapted to that yet. So I get it. But if the NFL ever adapted to that, he would fit right in.
The guys that do that in the NFL are typically bigger than him, too. little
Yeah,
whenever you're playing in the box.
that also hurts. Yeah, like CJ Taylor. CJ Taylor was on some of the worst Vandy teams, but he was very, very good, but he had gotten too big to be a safety, like a deep safety, and too small to be a linebacker. So they played him in that star position, and then his senior year, his last year, they threw him back to safety, and you had him and Derek Wright, who were both not deep safety, so you lost a little bit of athleticism, and you got beat deep on a lot of stuff. So that's kind of how that worked out. So, but yeah, they've done pretty well in the portal, getting some great pieces, and I'm curious to see where Trey Richardson ends up. You know, he visited Georgia. I think he's visiting Texas now. So some people are interested in him, which is, I mean, it's good for him. So let's talk about this game, though, right?
Which one?
Let's talk about the Missouri, Kentucky. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about the Ole Miss, Miami. Let's start with that one. Let's start with our SEC love here. Our biggest Ole Miss fan, Stephen Willis. I think he's having a meet and greet with all 2.5 million of his subscribers.
Yeah.
He had to rent out Talladega. And he sat in the middle and they filled it out. Yeah. It was crazy.
Probably big enough.
Probably not. Well, there's a line going down the road.
Yeah, right. A lot of traffic in Birmingham, Talladega area, and not.
Yeah, they're like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Locked on Ole Miss. Yeah, taking a life of its own. But no. So is like the biggest question for Ole Miss is this, and if Steve were here, I'd ask him this question directly. But Steve, if you're out there and you want to chime in via chat, feel free to answer this question. The Sugar Bowl, was that their Super Bowl? Are they going to be out of gas? Like, is there going to be a little bit of a drop off because like that game had a revenge factor to it. That game, they had a chip on their shoulder. Are they still going to be red hot, or do you guys think they're going to fall off a little bit, or does it really matter if they fall off a little bit because they're just outmatched over Miami?
I think there's a scenario that both of them could drop off. I also would push back that they're at an advantage over Miami. I don't know that is the case all over the field. But certainly for Ole Miss, like you said, they beat the one team that beat them, a conference foe. It was the biggest win they've ever had. And for Miami, you beat the defending national champion who nobody thought you could beat. You were the biggest underdog of last round, and you got it done. I mean, that was the highest of highs. So I think for both teams, you could have a letdown. I think both teams are coached well enough to avoid that, but it could happen.
There's going to be, I think there's going to be a natural letdown, but it's all going to be, for Miami, it's all going to be contingent on how much does Carson Beck let down. Because if he lets down and starts throwing it to Ole Miss, then it's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
So I go for it, Jake. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think there will be a little letdown because I don't think Trinidad Chambliss in the second half is going to start out 12 for 12 for like 280 something yards. I mean, that was just absolutely insane what he did in that second half.
But do you think Miami's defense can match Georgia's? I don't know.
I
feel like the way he's playing right now.
Miami's front seven is better. They're better at rushing the passer.
Bain is a stud.
Yeah.
That dude is
But
ridiculous.
the one thing that Miami doesn't do that Georgia does well, Miami doesn't really rotate their front seven. Those guys are playing all the time. And I think because of that, Ole Miss's path is if you spread them out and throw early, get them running around and tired, that is your path to running the ball effectively. So that's kind of how I see it. Like Miami's are better, but they also might get more tired later on.
Right.
Yeah, throw quick, force them to run. And then if they, they're going to make some big plays. So you just got to withstand all that because they're going to be excited. They're going to be pumped. They're going to be whatever. So, all right, what question should we ask Boss Man? Put him on the spot.
What's up,
What's
y'all?
up?
Hey, boss man.
What's up, boss man?
Good to see y'all, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I watched the first couple minutes of the show. Good start. I got some. This is what Jeb his new set looks like to me. Check this out. This is Milton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pre-show, I was asking him where the red stapler was.
And
yeah.
I guarantee you there's a stapler. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a new year, new us, man. Jake's got a light. Jeb is in a new set in office space basement. Yeah. Going to be a good year for SEC After Dark.
2026 is our year.
That's right.
To the moon.
Yeah.
To the moon.
And then we're
more,
going to
more on Mountain.
Moron Mountain. There we go.
We're sitting to the top of Moron Mountain.
That's right.
Jeb's going to make a scrapbook about it.
That's-
All right, boss man, your thoughts on this
That's
Fiesta Bowl? Is Miami gonna be Fiesta, or is there going to be an Ole Miss Fiesta?
Well, you know, it's interesting. We talked about this on Biscuits and SEC Live a little earlier, and Hammer laid it out where Miami, in a lot of the statistical categories that matter, has the edge, and their defense is playing very good right now. So, you know, I'm a little worried for Ole Miss, but especially still, it's like, when is all the drama and the craziness and the Lane Kiffin issues and the coaches going back and forth and all that? Like, will that catch up to them? Is this the game that stuff finally catches up to them? It could be. But my thing is, look, when you have Trinidad Chambliss has the hottest hand in the country right now as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's peaking at the right time. And so if I'm an Ole Miss fan, and I mean, last SEC team in, I'm rooting for the Rebs. I hope they win it. I'm kind of going with the hot hand. I feel good about Trinidad Chambliss and how he's been playing. And he kind of neutralizes a little bit. When we saw it against Georgia, he neutralizes that pass rush and, you know, a good defensive line, which is what Miami has. Miami's got Messidor and Reuben Bain there. And so I think those guys get home a little bit more than they did, than Georgia was able to. But at the end of the day, I really like the position Ole Miss is in, and you got Charlie Weiss Jr. calling plays still. So I can't
remember this guy's name, boss man, but when you look at Ole Miss's defense, Georgia still has, in 2 games, has not blocked 51, whatever the hell his name is.
Well, was it Eccles or something? He was good. Yeah.
They have not blocked.
Well, yeah, Eccles.
52 as well. I don't know who 52 is. 51 and 52 have not been blocked yet. I mean, 51 was just constantly engulfing the running backs, just destroying Gunnar Stockton. Like, Gunnar Stockton was a rag doll.
Yeah.
That's a guy I'm surprised didn't get tired and slow down, but he did not seem to. Late in the game, he was still doing it.
He's an Iron Man. I mean, he's tough.
Yeah, I mean, that dude is unbelievable. So, but yeah, no, this Ole Miss defense is very opportunistic. They're very, you know, they take advantage of your mistakes. You know, one small little thing that they notice, there's a crack in the dam, they're gonna find it, and they're going to make sure it becomes more than just a crack. That's an advantage I think they have as well. I think they're better coached on that side of the ball.
I'm interested to see too about, you know, Carson Beck, the turnover margin for Miami. They're top 10 in turnover margin, I believe. Ole Miss is
they
7.
They are 10th. They're plus 12 on the year. And Ole Miss they are break even at 0 turnover margin for the year.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of turnovers forcing you.
No, they have given away it exactly the same number of times as they have taken it away. That's 70th in the country.
I mean, that's always a key stat, right, to look at, is who wins the turnover battle. But I think it's especially key here, right, is Ole Miss able to turn over Carson Beck, who does have turnover issues, but Miami very good at turning teams over, and Ole Miss turns the ball over. So they got to protect the ball.
And Beck's turnovers are skewed this year, though, looking at them. So he's thrown 10 picks. 6 of them are in their 2 losses.
Yeah,
so he threw 4 against Louisville, 2 against SMU. In the other games, he's not turned it over as much. Was talking to a buddy, and he told me something interesting that Beck's thrown over 400 passes this year. Right around 50 have been over 20 yards. So they're not throwing the ball deep, but also 6 of those 10 picks have come on those 50 throws over 20 yards. So when Miami is staying on schedule, throwing the short game, they're not turning it over. It's if you can force Miami to come from behind and they have to fling it deep, that's when you're going to turn them over.
Because he's going to force something into a tight window, and it's just not going to be.
Yeah, you got to get them moving because very interesting. Another one with Miami in that regard. They're 131st in pace of play. So they're letting the clock wind down every time, running the ball. Conversely, they're 6th in time of possession. You can't let them do that if you're Ole Miss. You've got to get them behind the sticks and throwing more and hopefully get out to an early lead.
And you do that by also possessing the ball. Like that's I've noticed that's a new trend now. Teams want to be up there because for a while it was, hey, let's just test every light bulb on the scoreboard. And now it's, it's hey, let's hold the ball. I don't care if we score 1 million points. If we hold the ball, they can't score if they don't have the ball.
Yeah. And give your defense time to adjust and rest too.
That's always important.
Yeah. And Mike, you make a great point about making Miami come from behind to try to win. If that's the case, they have not had to come from behind yet in this playoff. So they have not been in that situation. So,
where on the other hand, Trinidad, man, he was clutch last time.
Yeah.
And just some money throws late in the game, which is what everybody thought
and not even
was going to do.
And we're not even just talking about the ones under duress where he was running around like Archie Manning back there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that were timing, rhythm-based. I mean, he was just on the money.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him.
I mean, he got in a rhythm. He was throwing with anticipation. Like everything you want in a quarterback, he was showing that.
I'll be curious in this game what happens penalty-wise because, they've made a lot of – with the Miami-Ohio State, what was there, 7 minutes left in the game when the first flag was thrown? Something like that. But both of these teams take a lot of penalties. Miami, the 118th in penalties, Ole Miss 79. So they're both getting a lot of flags on them. We'll see if that happens in this game.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. It'll be a penalty fest. These bowl games, the refs are like, hey, we're going to be on national TV.
Yep.
Throw a flag.
I mean, kind of some of the stuff you guys have been talking about here, in terms of Miami really wanted to control the clock and Ole Miss has wanted to establish the run, with Lane Kiffin the entire time he was there, and we'll continue to do that with Charlie Weiss Jr. We've seen it in the playoffs. Kawan Lacey, we've talked all about Trinidad Chambliss, but Kawan Lacey has been having a hell of a playoff too.
Yeah,
that's true.
But so has Fletcher on the other side for Miami.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, watching that game in Kyle Field with Fletcher just bashing his head against us, was rough. But even against Ohio State, he had 90 yards on the ground, and he started, punching them as the game went on. So who is able to establish the run? And I'm really interested to see if Ole Miss is able to establish the run, right? Because that is Miami's strength. You're running right into the strength of Miami's defense, which is their defensive line and their second level with the backers. So, I'm really interested to see how Kawan Lacey does, how this offensive line fares against Miami, because so far – no one has fared very well against Miami's defensive line.
Now, one of the things I noticed, because I do help Steve with some of his all access stuff. Coach Burton makes an appearance for Ole Miss, Locked On Ole Miss All Access, and I broke down. I tried to pick some key plays from Miami's season from their losses to see kind of what did some teams do to them, and one of the things that and we've probably danced around it, but haven't explicitly said it. But like, they've used formations. They've used their, Louisville, SMU have used some of their passing prowess to their advantage, where they formation Miami into their passing strength, like formation into the boundary type situations. And Miami's obliged them by lining up to their passing strength, leaving space to the field for the run. And I think Louisville was able to exploit that a little bit. And also they were able to exploit the fact that Miami's hyper aggressive coming after you. And they were able to throw some stuff right behind some of these blitzes and pick up big yards, if not touchdowns. Like I think their second touchdown they scored, it was just an under route. It was your basic drive concept where you had a dig, a seam, and you had another guy coming underneath from the other side. They they launch a field blitz, tight end or the receivers right there coming from a nasty split. He replaces them. Quarterback doesn't even bat an eye, just pops it to him. Dude scores. Like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like Trinidad could take advantage of that. I'd like to see Ole Miss's top tight end. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but he had kind of a rough game. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Yeah, he had the yips.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he could step back up in this one. Although they're backup, they're going to need him. 45-year-old played pretty well. So. I just saying that because he's losing his hair. That's mean.
Is it like Jay Haas or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's because you still got hairy jab.
Yeah, well, it's all in front. That's why you can't see the back of the head.
It's all on your chin.
Yeah. Migrated.
It went from here to here.
Yeah.
Oh man. So how are we feeling about this game? Like what's our predictions here?
Well, I am a contrarian in this one. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was flopping back and forth. I just think, like a fish that just got caught, reeled into the boat. Just, I made routine trips around Moron Mountain trying to figure this one out.
This is a tough one to figure out. Like there's scenarios where either team covers, and I think there's also scenarios where either team wins by double digits. So
yeah,
there's a lot of potential outcomes here.
I think it's going to be a field goal game, so at the very least, I think Ole Miss could cover, but if not win outright.
I'm definitely on the under in this one too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's.
What is it?
Yeah.
I'll see if it's changed.
The over/under is 70. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, yeah. Cash those tickets if it is the case, people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think when you look at the quarterback battle and you look at that just alone,
it is 52.5, which is actually going up because it was 51.5 before.
Yeah, I hammered the under.
Yeah, under every time.
I think Trinidad Chambliss is the superior quarterback in this scenario, and I do think by the slimmest of margins, Kewan Lacey's the better running back in this situation as well. Fletcher's great. I think Miami has some explosive playmakers, but I just think Ole Miss is just a little bit more explosive. I mean, they have some receivers that can take it the distance. They like to throw deep. They will take some shots on you, and Kewan Lacey will take advantage of you when you sit back and try to guard those shots. They put you in a blender. Charlie Weiss Jr. is a great play caller, great rhythm play caller. I just think that's kind of where I'm at with Ole Miss.
I think this one's one in the trenches, and I am obviously the one going with the Canes to cover this. I think their front seven does enough to slow Ole Miss down, and on offense, I think this game is won when Miami's offense and Ole Miss's D's on the field. Because if Ole Miss can turn them over, they're going to win. If Miami can play the pace they want to play, I think they'll win. And I'm going with the Canes to get enough done on defense and not turn it over and win the battle in the trenches to get to the title game in their hometown.
Nice.
That may give them a little bit of extra motivation too, since it is in their hometown.
Yeah, that is true. A home. Will this be the first home national championship?
In the playoff era, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they've done it before. When they won. I felt like Miami couldn't win a national championship unless it was in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They won in the Rose Bowl. Their last one was in the Rose Bowl when they beat Nebraska in 2001.
God, sure. That game was such a beatdown. I was like, does that even count?
Yeah.
God. Yeah, that team is arguably the best team ever created. And I know there's some arguments there with other teams, but they're in that conversation for sure.
What year was that?
2001.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Jake was born yet.
I was born in 91.
For some reason, 91 is what I heard at first. I was like, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, 2001. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 2001, it was that team. I think they had 25, 26, like, eventual first and second rounders.
38 overall guys got drafted from that team.
Good God.
It was unreal.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, go look at that roster again. Jeb, what was your take on this game?
No, I don't know. It seems like both these teams had such big games last week, with Ole Miss's upset of Georgia and, of course, Miami over Ohio State. They were so much fun. I think this game's going to be really good because they're both going to come in with big underdog energy, but it is a question of how they're going to respond after what all happened last week. I just love the way Ole Miss is playing. I know Miami is very good. It's going to be a tough game, but I have to go with Ole Miss in this one just for the edging them out.
I mean, we said it right here. Just all of us said that Miami doesn't have the path to win 3 games. I think, this is.
Yep, guilty. I said it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
I'm going to say the same thing about Ole Miss.
I agree with you. So
Yeah.
This is the game that this is the game where Mario Cristobal gets out coached,
which is possible. I love what Pete Gold's done so far.
Yeah. My thoughts on this is, Corey, you brought up that Ole Miss likes to take deep shots. Well, if Ruben Banner, is in your face, every single time, he can't take those deep shots. So, you're right.
If you throw it on a rhythm like a quick 1-2 ball out, he can't get to you.
Right, but that's a good point.
But if you're dropping back on a 5-step rhythm, it ain't gonna happen.
Right. So Mike makes a good point about the trenches, maybe where this game is won. So I'm also one of these who went back and forth on this, but I went with the majority. I'm picking Ole Miss, so I just SEC, and I think they have just enough to get it done.
I think as we do the Muschamp Coach of the Week, soon to be renamed Muschamp Coach of the Week on Biscuits at SEC Live. I think we could do an award on here. We've got the inside joke of Moron Mountain now. I think we could name the king of Moron Mountain every week. Ooh. I think the king of Moron Mountain this week and the last 2 weeks is probably Hammer for his 3 and whatever he has picked in bowl.
Yeah.
I was thinking that next season we should have a last place punishment for the overall season last place in the picks.
It's not a bad idea.
Hammer's been last 2 years in a row, I think. So
has he really?
Yes. He was last year.
But Becky's already clinched the title, by the way, for first place.
Right. Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. I'm going underdog all year next year. I mean, I'm just going to copy Becky's pick.
We got to count week 0 next year.
Am I the only one that had a quote?
I think you were.
I did not do it that week.
And I'm the only one that went into
the Mr. Mackey one. I like that. That was good. Yeah.
Drugs are bad.
Okay.
So this one, I'm pulling for Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is able to get it done, and there's a couple reasons why. Mike, you make a good point about the trenches. I saw that up close in Kyle Field in that first round playoff game. Miami's built like an SEC team in the trenches. Mario Cristobal has done an incredible job recruiting along the offensive and defensive lines. They pushed A&M around, and A&M, has a good defensive line and had a good offensive line for most of the year. So that was impressive to watch. And then they did it again against Ohio State. Ohio State had 45 rushing yards against Miami.
It's insane.
That's ridiculous. So Miami's got a good chance to win this game. They're favored in it. I did think about picking them. I debated. I went back and forth. But it's like I said earlier, I just feel like Trinidad Chambliss has the hot hand. And a lot of times in college football, it comes down to quarterback play. And I think he does neutralize Miami's strength of that defensive line and those ends with his scrambling ability. I think that Charlie Weiss Jr., as you mentioned, Corey, is a great play caller. I also don't think that Miami to date has played as explosive of an offense or as good of a quarterback as Trinidad Chambliss. Texas A&M might have something to say about that, but I don't think –
You might say they played as good a QB last week. Tusane's pretty good, I think.
I disagree. And the reason I say that is because Sayan's pretty good. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but Trinidad Chambliss is better. And Julian Sayan, even though he went to the Heisman ceremony, let's look at their schedule. They played Texas, who we all know is nobody. At least I do.
Yeah.
Homer, Michigan.
Even though they beat us this year. But Texas, okay, good team at the start of the year. You beat them. Then you play Iowa in the middle of the year, and then you get your last 2 games that are the best teams you play, Indiana, and then you play against Miami. Both of those games, they lay an egg. The offense lays an egg. Julian Sand, he played pretty good against Indiana. They weren't able to score. But Trinidad Chambliss, I think it's undeniable that he's playing better than Julian Sand right now.
I definitely think right now he's playing better. I'm not debating that. And he also runs the ball better. He's more dynamic than Sand is.
Yes.
So I think he's the best quarterback that Miami has faced so far. I also think that even though A&M had the explosive plays, has a very good offense, they were kind of neutered with the whole Colin Klein thing to Kansas State. I said that right after the game. I said it before the game that I was worried about that. So with Trinidad Chambliss having the hot hand, at Ole Miss, they're second in the country in long scrimmage plays and explosive plays. So I'm actually worried about Miami being able to keep up scoring-wise with Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is going to score 45 in this game, but I guarantee you they're going to be at least in the 20s, probably the high 20s. And in the last couple of games, Miami's offense has kind of sputtered a little bit. They haven't been as good as we saw earlier in the year against some of those teams in the ACC in that, really soft league over on the East Coast and some of the West Coast.
So stat to look for, both of Miami's playoff games have been against offensive coordinators calling their first game this year.
Oh, damn.
That is interesting. So anyway, in this one, I'm going with Ole Miss. I like Trinidad Chambliss. I think he's got the hot hand. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I do think that Ole Miss's explosive playability with the hot hand of Trinidad Chambliss, Charlie Weiss Jr. calling plays, I think that gives them the upper hand. I think it's like 28-26, 28-24, something like that Ole Miss gets the win.
Telling you, watching Ruben Bain Jr. chase around Trinidad is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. And that dude never quits on a play.
No.
He's good.
Neither one of them do. That's
Yeah,
going to be exciting.
Man. Yeah, they're something else.
Very much. Very much. So, speaking of something else, Oregon, Indiana, Peach Bowl. Steve is on Oregon. All of us are on Indiana. I think we just opened our eyes and saw what Indiana did to Alabama. I have never seen in my lifetime of being hyper aware of college football, I've never seen Alabama get throttled like that.
No.
Where they just quit in the first quarter. They just quit. I've never seen them do that. Even under Mike Shula. Never seen them do that.
That was shocking. I picked Indiana, but I did not think it was going to go that way at all. I don't think anybody.
I didn't think it'd be that lopsided either.
Yeah.
And I've been bullish on Indiana all year and telling people no, they are really this good and to a wall sometimes. But
and I thought Indiana
they are this good.
A touchdown, which was a Bama cover. I picked Bama because I thought Bama could cover 7.5.
That's
and they didn't.
I have no comment on that game.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't blame you. I wouldn't comment on it either.
Yeah.
I've already said enough what I said on the show. So anyway, I'm taking Indiana in this game.
Yeah, Cignetti's a dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick anybody to beat Indiana until it actually happens. That's how high I am on them. Their D-line's so good, the way they run the ball, they're not making mistakes. Until someone beats them, I'm going to be picking them.
Mike, I know you were on them, but I got to tell you, they've beaten Oregon, Ohio State, now Alabama, and still people aren't really taking them seriously. I don't know why.
No, I mean,
I think
at this point we are, but
Illinois is a top 15 team, and they beat them by 50. Yeah.
I remember seeing that score, going, what? And
I was one of those people. I kept thinking all season, this is going to fall apart eventually. It's great, but it's going to fall apart. No, I don't think it's going to fall apart now. Finally past that.
No.
This feels like Indiana to me feels like Jake, you'll have to remind me which team it was. I think it was probably the 08 or 09 Alabama team when Nick Saban really started to get things rolling again at Bama. I think they started out the year in I think it was 09 when they won the national title.
Yeah.
Started out the year in the 20s, 24 or something, 22. Got that opening game win. And then just started rolling, and then the Nick Saban era was off to the races.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like with Indiana this year. Last year, They did it. They got to the playoff. They played well, but everybody was kind of doubting them because it's Indiana. That's the IU on the helmet, and you didn't play anybody on your schedule, and then you got whooped in the playoffs. So, like, we don't really think this is real. Do it again. They did it again this year, and now Kurt Cignetti, it feels like he's got this thing rolling, man. And anybody they play against, it's a machine, just like those Nick Saban teams that Alabama looked like. And I know, we all know Cignetti's a Saban acolyte. Kurt Cignetti's Indiana team right now, I think they're about to go on a ridiculous run here in the next 5 years at least.
Are we saying they're about to take over the Big Ten for a few years?
They've got two of the best portal. Josh Hoover, they got as their QB for next year, and Nick Marsh from Michigan State, one of the best receivers. They got him coming in next year.
There you go.
And one of Miami's tight ends is going there next year too, of all things.
That's what I said on our show last week. I think I was talking about it. It's like, hey, look, he's got the whole thing going, and it's incredible what he's doing at Indiana. There's not really a precedent for it. From taking a bottom dweller team like Indiana to almost the pinnacle of the sport within 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's doing it right now with a talent profile that is way below most of these blue blood programs, with a bunch of 3 stars and like 1 4-star on the roster. The talent is going to follow. Right now, everybody's seen it, and they're like, this guy gets it done. He wins football games. He's going to put me in the NFL, just like Nick Saban used to do at Alabama. So now we're seeing it in the transfer portal.
Would you say they Googled him?
That's a great point.
They definitely Googled him for sure.
Yeah, they Googled him.
Yeah,
I win.
Yeah,
Googled
so this whole thing at Indiana going on right now, it looks like a clone of the early Saban years at Alabama. And now with the talent that's going to follow it because of what people are seeing and players are seeing. And not only that, but the money. Indiana has money. Mark Cuban just made a donation. They've got a big alumni base. They're going to start bringing in talent. This machine is just going to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane.
One of the greatest memes I saw was Mendoza, and it said, Indiana's like that white AAU team from the suburbs that's really good, where they shoot the lights out and are just super fundamental.
Yeah.
But the Big Ten needed another powerhouse. I'm tired of Ohio State anyway. Yeah. Michigan's just having all kinds of problems. Can't seem to get out of it. Yeah.
Wait, no, Michigan's a perfectly well-oiled machine. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I wouldn't be surprised if we loaded up the news right now and there's another scandal going on.
Hey, little aside there, I'm excited to hear what Whittingham does there. When A&M was fired Jimbo and was looking for a coach, I was screaming from the rooftops like, "Go look at Kyle Whittingham!" Like, my gosh, he's been at Utah forever. He's done an incredible job there. Like, I think he's going to win anywhere he goes. He also feels like stability, which is what Michigan needs. He's going to be there. He's going to get it back, the foundation of the program back and in a good place and do it the right way. He's probably going to be there for 5 or 6 years, but at the end of the day, I think that's what Michigan needs right now.
They just need that type of reset,
right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not necessarily excited about Michigan because I have one of my friends, one of my classmates I graduated from is a Michigan fan, so we love to hate Michigan just to give him complete crap.
What do y'all think about what athletes put there? USC, because I know that they are recruiting real well, but are you a believer in their coach? I don't know.
No,
right?
Actually, I wasn't. They did a pretty good job this year. They were a salty team.
Yeah, and like I said, with the recruiting they're doing,
they may be upgraded to Charmin Ultra Strong and not Ultra Soft.
Yeah. Defensively, yeah.
I mean, they were 9-4 this year. They did lose their TCU's probably their worst loss in the bowl game, but their 3 regular season losses, Illinois, Notre Dame, Oregon, those were all legit teams that beat them. So they beat who they should have.
Illinois.
I'll give them that.
Well, if you're going to be top 4 in the Big Ten,
sorry, Jeff,
you can't beat who you should have. You gotta throw a couple of those banner wins on there too.
Yeah.
I will say their schedule was pretty weak, and really they only beat one good team, and that was Iowa. So they didn't really beat anybody good.
Because Lincoln Riley just seems like one of those coaches that's always about to be really good, but then never quite gets there. And I just don't know if he's going to get over that hump or not.
He won't because he can't figure out defense.
Yeah, maybe not.
And they lost their D coordinator. Lynn took the DC job at Penn State this offseason.
I mean, he he doesn't have a good track record when it comes to hiring defensive coordinators. Not at Oklahoma,
Terrible.
not at USC.
I got to be honest too. One of the things that I just don't know that it matters as much anymore on the recruiting front. You get the number 1 overall class. That sounds amazing and everything, and that's great. And now it's going to be because half of that class is going to leave, guaranteed.
At least
half that class is going to leave in the transfer portal. So it's about retention. Can you retain the top end 4 and 5 star guys to develop and get into year 2, year 3? But I'm more looking at the transfer portal. Like, how well are you supplementing through the portal? Because that's what really matters. Whereas you have a bunch of these freshmen coming in, and sure, 4 and 5 star guys are nice, but not a lot of them are going to play next year.
And the portal's where you get your linemen too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Would you want great 5-star prospects or 4-star prospects, or do you want veterans on your team next year? You're going to take the veterans 10 out of 10 times.
It does feel like now you have to get your recruiting class, pick a few out that your core guys that you really need, and focus on them, and just let all the rest of them go.
Right.
Which is it's hard as a fan because you can't really root for people anymore. Every time you get a player you like, they leave. Every time.
Yeah.
You had trouble rooting for Nico and now Joey Aguilar, Jeb? Is that what you're telling me?
I love Joey. But Jordan Ross was one of my favorite young players. He just announced he's leaving.
And in Alabama's case, Keon Keeley, we've developed him for 2 years now, and now he's in the portal. So we're not going to be able to reap those benefits, of developing him. Now he's going to take his talent somewhere else.
I haven't gotten to say a positive thing about Gamecock football in 3 months. I'm going to say one now.
Okay.
Keeping Sellers, Dylan Stewart, and Harbor was a big deal for Beamer.
That was huge.
I am shocked y'all kept Sellers, yes.
Yeah. Hey, Beamer's killing it right now with the retention, and he's doing well in the portal. So, feels like, hey, maybe it's a little bit of a resurgence.
He just got somebody just recently.
Oh, Giovanni Gibson, receiver from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And Takarius Peak is down between Alabama and South Carolina, supposedly. So
just hope they don't play.
And we don't have Mike Shula anymore, guys. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, that's the thing to be positive about.
Yeah.
Mike, and another positive is Illinois is not on your schedule, so that's good.
Yeah.
That is true. Brett Bielema broke us.
He's
like
2-0
he's a heck of a
SEC.
coach. I root for the guy, but he ruined us. Yeah.
Shane Beamer just could not handle that. He got trolled so bad. Kirby trolls him too, which is funny. Kirby trolls the hell out of him. And he gets so mad.
See, okay. This Tennessee-Illinois game, this is what I don't like right now that's going on. If you're not in the playoffs, nobody seems to care. Tennessee was playing that game like it was a scrimmage. They did not care. You could tell they didn't care in that game. I don't think Illinois cared that much. I'm not even saying that Illinois was trying hard to beat us.
What also annoys
that hard.
We can't say that as SEC people because they're like, oh, SEC making excuses.
I know, but
it's not an excuse. It's a reality. But
I think they just need to expand.
And sorry, Corey, but Iowa found an offense against Vandy.
They have.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I was like,
I know. I was like, what?
Mark Gronowski is dicing us up right now. This is
if you're not in the playoffs, teams just don't seem like they care now.
Brutal.
Half your people are gone anyway.
And that's when they're talking about, the bowls maybe. Well, I think one of them's gone. It was after the last game that was played. I forgot which one it was, but there's no more.
I feel like that's the way it's going to go. It's going to just be playoffs and no more bowl games.
Yeah,
I hate that.
G5 needs to get 14 playoffs just so that most of their good schools can play postseason and get rewarded. Because those other bowls are going to go away.
I'm planting my flag. I love bowl season. I don't want it to go away, and I will fight to the death for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Cheez-It Bowl, and the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Was fun.
And the Frosted Flakes Sun Bowl too.
Yeah, that one now. Sure, throw that one in there.
No, did you not see that one?
No, I don't think I did.
Every time they scored a touchdown, they dove into the bowl of cereal.
Okay,
that was fantastic.
I did.
Let's go.
Love it.
Yeah,
that's great.
But they're gonna have to change this up. I don't know. Maybe not allow kids to leave for the portal before the bowl game, or something.
Because you're gonna schools are just gonna have to write it into their contracts. Like if a school wants to write it into their contract and a player agrees, then great. But they're never going to be able to control that because you can't.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it could be too, and I think there probably isn't enough money for some of the stars, but for the bowl games, like as part of a sponsorship, right? There's a pool of money that goes out and say, okay, it's kind of ranked choice, kind of right or rated, right? So okay, almost like the NFL does the NFL draft, right? Like you've got a first round, so if it's up based on their NFL draft grade, maybe, right? And so then okay, you get this running back who's a star, this quarterback who's a star, they're going to get X amount if they play in the bowl game, and then on down the roster on both sides. So you incentivize it.
Yeah, like bonuses. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You talked about that one time a couple weeks ago, I think, too, boss man. Mm-hmm. Talking about Notre Dame not wanting to play, but if you get them incentives to play, then that keeps people from opting out of these bowl games.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll give you, a bonus of $800,000 or whatever, right? Or 1.2, whatever it is, if you're a big time quarterback. Plus, you get to wear the Pop-Tarts mascot, and maybe we'll give it to you if you want it.
Right.
I would play for that.
Me too.
Because I understand kids sitting out because they're going to go pro. Like, I get that. If you don't want to hurt yourself, that's your next big life decision. I get it, but I don't know. These kids are still in college. Need to be playing.
We need to adopt that because we won't have matchups like we did in the Birmingham Bowl of 2 5-7 teams who probably shouldn't deserve to be there.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean that's a nice rivalry. Yeah. So
it is. But
who's going to play La Tech and Shreveport every year in the Independence Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
Did we make picks? I guess we got to make picks in this game, huh? Although I guess everybody saw it.
Right?
We're all on Indiana. Steve's the only one on Oregon.
Yeah. He's not here to give the reason.
Hey, Steve, what do you think about Oregon? Why'd you pick Oregon?
Yeah.
So, something I want to bring up to you guys is because we're talking about bowl season, the playoff. Right now the teams who get a first round bye are 1-7. Of course, the only one who's won is Indiana. So it's almost like you don't want that first round bye. You don't want to be a top 4 team.
No, I think you need to go 16 and just everybody plays.
I agree.
Yeah,
just go 16.
I'm against it. I like teams getting buys.
Redo the
even though they're 1-7.
It's the calendar.
So
it's not.
It's and we're also looking the 2 years are not the same. Last year you had to be a conference champ, so we got a Boise and an Arizona State who were not top 4 teams.
Yeah, shouldn't have.
This year they just did it for you. You didn't have to be a conference champ. So until we see more of these games, I'm not prepared to say
it's about the calendar and it's about the quality of play. It doesn't matter who gets the bye. It's the fact that the bye team has way too much time off and the others don't. Yes. And they're like, even with bowl, like these bowl games are also sloppy because of the calendar. Because you go 3.5 weeks without playing a competitive football game, you're going to be rusty.
Yeah, because I mean, you can make an argument that Georgia was one of the hottest teams in the country, leading up to bowl season and playoff season. So
and then they just reverted back to game 1 Georgia, where you weren't sure if they knew how to play defense. Half the time, and that's concerning. So I think you redo the calendar. I mean, go 16, go 14, go whatever, but redo the calendar. Bump the season up. Start the playoffs sooner, and you just play through. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe
Bossman and Hammer, you guys had a good discussion about this tonight on your show, I thought.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting ideas, and I think Dellinger. I'm glad we are going to have some changes about it, about the calendar. There's obviously issues with it. The coaches have been, yelling from the rooftops. It's insane that we've got Pete Golding and Signetti and Lanning having to have recruiting meetings and deal with the portal while trying to, win a national title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they can be done with the season, because of like enrollment and it just messes with the school calendar. Like you need to get back on the school calendar so that you can have this portal stuff and you can have coaching changes. You can have all of that.
Yeah.
And still be okay.
I mean, I think Nick Saban had a good solution too, right? And Hammer talked about this. I don't know if it was on our show tonight or last week, but Saban's solution was essentially to do away with spring practices, if I remember right, and get the portal in the spring. So basically just push the portal, one portal opening, and it's in the spring, right before or right when spring practices would be. And that allows, then it's in the dead period essentially, right? In terms of
and then you have OTAs in June.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And then your team is set, right? Like, okay, look, we're going to build up. We know we're going to have the portal, and then the portal opens. You got to, 3 weeks to a month to figure that all out. And then boom, done. It's set. And you know what your roster is going to look like for the rest of the season. You don't have to worry about it again until, the next time. So
I think that's also a good idea.
Yeah.
You don't mess with all this enrollment stuff and,
Yep.
And now, am I looking at our sheets right? So the championship game is going to be on the 19th. I mean, that's way too late to have a college football national championship, honestly.
Yeah, it's not next week, but the Monday after.
Good night. And get off of Mondays. I mean, I got to work the next day. I don't want I want to watch the freaking game, and I need to go to bed before midnight.
Just another reason to yell at Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
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 It'll be up till after midnight. That's all right.
Yeah, I know.
For that Ole Miss Indiana game, which I'm assuming.
Yeah. And some more relevant news. Trae Young just got traded to the Wizards.
Yeah, I heard they was trying to work on a.
That was his preferred destination.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Why?
He wanted to go to the Wizards. He's like, you know what? The Hawks are garbage, so let's go to the Wizards.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlotte's still garbage, but they absolutely steamrolled the next, the champions.
Dude, it's January NBA basketball. There is no sense to be made.
No,
with these games. I mean,
absolutely not.
They're just out there in a shoot around, basically.
Pretty much. No defense.
No defense. No, I mean they're like walking up the court. They're just collecting paychecks until because like they're all going to get in the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. We talked a little bit about this on Biscuits SEC Live tonight, but the portal is crazy. I think we could talk for a whole nother hour about how to fix it, what it needs to happen, et cetera. Because to me, it's completely, to use one of our phrases, off the rails. Like as a coach, as a program, you cannot plan for the future. You have no idea what your roster is going to look like the next year. You can't build a program. It's not even a program anymore. It's literally just one season to season to season. But aside from that,
it's the NFL.
I mean, yeah, but even the NFL, you've got contracts. Like, I've got this guy for the next 4 years. I've got this guy for 2 years, unless we cut him or whatever. There's salary caps. Like,
because the contracts are enforceable at that level.
Yeah, and you can plan, right? You can plan. This guy's up on contract or whatever. So it's insanity right now. But something that speaks to that insanity is what is happening with Washington's quarterback, Damon Williams.
Yes.
Contract there. So, like, what are y'all's thoughts on that? That was it's wild what's happening with that.
So,
and Lane Kiffin's in the middle of it, of course.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
We had a question a few minutes ago. Athletes, I think Washington could be in the mix now for Raiola if they have an opening. Thinking a couple of the spots to look could be Syracuse, because they don't think Angeli's knee injury might be healthy for next year. And if Arizona loses Fafita, Arizona could be another spot to look for Raiola. And then he's going to be a guy in the mix. If Dante Moore leaves Oregon, that could be a Raiola spot too.
Which I think he will leave Oregon because LSU is going to be like, okay, sue us, And that's the thing about college football is, you don't have like, because the league would say, no, cuz you're going, you're not leaving. You signed a contract. Sit down, and the rest of the owners would veto that. In college football, there is no such thing. So LSU's brass can be like, yeah, you want us to buy you out? Okay, we'll buy you out, and they'll foot the bill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like, how is the contract enforceable? Who's the contract with? You're not an employee, and if you're not an employee, how can you sign a contract? Right? Like, there's no. You signed a contract with Washington in this school, but how is this contract enforceable if there's no real general governing body that's governing it or has any teeth to say you can't do something?
Mhm.
And then the fact that there's no real legality that's over the top of it to make it an enforceable contract. It's just air.
And by the time they drag it out in court, he'll be long gone before any decision's made. So that's not going to matter.
No.
Yeah, I don't like that one bit. It's setting a dangerous precedent.
And here's a comment from Athletes Podcast, but Swords got $5 million and Byron got 4.4 from Auburn. I mean, those are good guys, but are they worth that kind of money? I mean, it's insane.
Auburn's desperate because they haven't had a quarterback in quite some time. So there's that.
Yeah.
This goes to something that I talked about the other week on our Friday show is the amount of money that's getting thrown around right now, and we're already kind of seeing it a little bit. Like, this is not sustainable for donors to be doing this. We're not going to be many schools. We've got big donor bases. Some schools have, a couple billionaires like Texas Tech, what have you. So sure, maybe they could fund a roster, almost in perpetuity. But there are not many schools out there, including blue bloods, that have the donor base and all that are going to be able to fund rosters in the 20 to 40 to 50. It's going to continue to go up. Range in perpetuity. That eventually the people with all the power, which is the donors, the people with the money, eventually they're going to start crying foul too and say, you know what? I'm kind of sick of paying for a quarterback that we don't even know if he's going to be that good. He had one good season at this school, and the market for him is $6 million. Like, this is insane. Yeah. And then funding an entire roster that's $30 to $40 million every single year. Yeah. What are we doing? We're not doing this anymore.
We've heard some of the donors already say that.
And to your point, Boss Ben, is that knowing if the QB is going to be good, we're hearing that might be part of it with Sam Levitt, is that apparently he may have a list, Frank. So they're worried, will he be healthy? Now, you're not going to pay a guy if he's not playing next year. And then Lagway was talking to a guy who knows, like, agents and people in those circles. Apparently a lot of the schools just don't think he's that good and want to pay him that much money. So
they are going insane with money. And you're seeing some of the big blue bloods not really getting involved with it. We hadn't seen Ohio State or Notre Dame or Georgia really sign many people yet. I think they're just refusing to spend that kind of cash.
They just get what they need, spend what they need, and work on developing. And eventually I think it'll cycle back to where it gets to a point where you can't buy a roster.
Yeah.
The novelty of that's going to wear off. You're not going to be able to buy a roster pretty soon. It's going to go back to, okay, you're going to have to develop some guys because people aren't going to leave, people aren't going to pay, and the market's going to correct itself. It always does.
It could, yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what happens in the stock market, right? I mean, you have this big boom, and then eventually it's like, okay, well, there's a bust or there's a market correction. We're going to have the same thing in college football. I mean, I think this is where everything's going right now. Eventually it's going to get to employee relationship, right? Like, we're going to contracts. That's where we're headed. And there's almost no other option that I see. And, athletes I see is saying here, agree with me, but, 4 transfer QBs in the semifinals. I mentioned that early on our show on Biscuits SEC Live that, I'm totally with you. Like, there are the four teams transfer QBs last year. You have a hired gun from Kansas State wins the national title for Ohio State. So, these teams are willing to pay that. But the key point to that is right now. I think eventually, we're looking out 4 years, 6 years, 10 years. I think there's going to be a market correction to where there's just not enough money to go around, and these donors are going to get sick of it. And they're just like, you know what? It's time for employee contract relationships. So these kids can't leave. We got to reset the market, almost like the NFL did after Sam Bradford, right? These owners are to hell with this. We're not paying Sam Bradford type of money and first round QB type of money because it's ridiculous. And so I think there will be a market correction in the future.
I think you will get that.
There'll be spending limits. There's going to be caps. There's going to be, levels. There's going to be, they're going to have to kind of go through, and this might be kind of like they'll correct the calendar so that they can get.
I was going to say, this is kind of interesting about these 4 quarterbacks is, had like Miami and Oregon going out and paying for big money for big quarterbacks, but Indiana and Ole Miss, they did not. So They found guys.
I bet Mendoza was decent at Cal. I bet he's getting paid all right.
Yeah.
He's getting paid all right, but like Diego was a low rent G5 quarterback, and he ended up being a Heisman finalist. Trinidad Chambliss, D2.
Aguilar got us 3,000 yards, and nobody wanted him.
Yeah, true.
And another thing that could help with cycling back around to help with the getting development of players is limiting how many times they can go in the transfer portal. I mean, if you don't get to start, then you just get in the portal and go to a team where you can start. So if you only go one time,
but that's also
that move
correct itself too, because eventually you're going to run out of places to go. Eventually, there's going to be a lot of guys. The number of guys that leave Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and end up at Nickel State.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
No offense to Nickel State, but
Thibodaux, Louisiana is a fun town.
There's 4,500 plus people in the transfer portal right now. I saw the other day.
Insane.
There's no room for every single one of them. It's just
you're gonna end up at Colorado College of the Mines playing D2 football when you were just on Wake Forest's roster last year,
right?
Because you went to the portal and let's just say you're not as good as you thought you were, and Wake Forest is like, hey, you got in the portal. We just went ahead and recruited.
Yeah. Grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah. For some, it is.
Right. For others, it's not. For most, it's not.
Yeah. For most, it's not. Yeah. For most, you're not necessarily getting to a better situation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for subscribing to us. Appreciate it. And he's a Gators fan. So Corey, Jeff, he's one of your buddies.
Yeah. Well, this is what sucks because I have to root for the Gators a little bit now.
Yeah, Buster.
Buster. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God. Why? Why do I root for the Gators? I don't want to root for the Gators.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. So,
2 minutes.
My quick note on the Gators: I hope they score 1 million points, but lose every game.
There you go.
Lose every game.
I'm moving to one.
I hope their defense is completely garbage, but they score 1 million points and Buster gets a head coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah, quickly. Yes.
Yeah, and not Tennessee, for the love of God.
I think Apple's good for a little while.
That's where he's going next. Probably that's his next move. Whatever that is, it's going to be Tennessee because he's just cycling through the teams that I hate. So anyway, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right. So from the cabinet of Moron Mountain, we thank you for watching, and we hope everyone follows Athletes Forum Podcast's lead and subscribes and likes and all that stuff. Maybe not so much the Gator part of it, but make sure you like and subscribe to this show. It's a great show. Not pictured, like in the yearbook where you have like the not pictured. It's Stephen Willis for the second time in a row. Locked On Ole Miss. He's doing a meet and greet with his subscribers. They rented out the Rose Bowl.
Oof.
Because there's a lot of land around it too, so they had to use the line goes all the way to California. It goes all the way
underwater. It was the other day.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So
I think Steve has more subscribers than UCLA home fans or season ticket holders combined.
Right.
There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
Probably more subscribers than they have students. But that's Stephen Willis. He is hopefully his night tomorrow night is just as fun as it was last week. So
you can catch me and Steve on the Ole Miss pregame show tomorrow on Locked On Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What time are y'all going?
Oh, nice.
5:30 Eastern, 2 hours before kickoff.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Might make a surprise appearance. Boss Man is one half of the Biscuits and SEC. Phenomenal show there. They're rocking like a hurricane. So make sure you check them out. Jake Thomas, your double dose of Bama with Bama After Dark Tide Talk Live. He was a great guest on Mike Huseman on Off Season After Dark. So make sure you check that out. Mike Huseman, Off Season After Dark, and does guest appearances for Locked On Ole Miss and Locked On Vandy. Jeb Beecham, best scrapbooker this side of the Mississippi. We love you.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm Corey Burton, locked on Vandy, and this is together. We're SEC After Dark, and we come at you every week. We'll be. I think we're going to be on regular schedule next week.
Yeah, Thursday.
And once the national championship is over, this show is going to get off the rails. It's going to get interesting. So,
I will be absent next Thursday, unfortunately. But yeah,
do you have a doctor's note?
I will write it myself. Yes.
Yeah, from the doctor himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you back here next time on SEC After Dark. Anchor down. Go Dogs.
Go Vols.
Go Tide.
Okay.
In stream.